Have you ever had an argument with someone? Well, I know I have. Just the other day, my friends and I were arguing over who the GOAT was, greatest of all time. And I said it was Michael Jordan. But he kept saying it was LeBron. LeBron is fine, but Jordan is clearly the GOAT. The stats and championships don't lie. Well, the argument got a little heated, and we both thought we were right. He got irritated with me, and I got frustrated with him. And even though it was over something silly, our relationship became broken. And we stopped talking to each other. Our relationship didn't have peace anymore. And what's peace? Well, peace is proving you care more about each other than winning an argument. Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever lacked peace in a friendship? Well, the Bible has a lot to say about peace. The Apostle Paul wrote about it in a book called Colossians. Colossians 3:15 to be exact. And I want you to check out our video today and check out the kids in our story. I think you might be able to understand exactly what they're going through.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 15.
In a letter written to the Colossian church, the Apostle Paul wrote, "Let the peace that Christ gives rule in your hearts. As parts of one body, you were appointed to live in peace and be thankful." Now let's see what that truth may look like played out in our lives today. Katie wiped the sweat from her forehead and took a long drink from her water bottle.
How is it this hot in April?
She looked back at the long patch of scrubby ground on the corner lot by Miss Watson's house. Her friends, Caleb and Nona, were both pulling weeds too.
I thought we'd be done before lunch.
It'll take us days to clear out all this brush.
All three kids lived in the same neighborhood and were in Mr. Benson's 7th grade social studies class. It had been Katie's bright idea to start a neighborhood garden for their community service project.
Well, we have to finish, unless you want to fail social studies.
Even though the friends had been working for a couple of hours already, they'd only cleared the brambles from a small patch of land at the corner.
Even when we finish pulling weeds, we still have to dig up the dirt.
Yeah, and plant the seeds and water them and stuff.
Look, we just need to get it done. I really want an A, okay? Let's use what we've cleared so far and pick one thing to plant.
Sunflowers.
What?
They're big. They're bold. They'll brighten up the whole neighborhood.
I don't want to plant flowers.
Katie did a quick search on her phone for backup.
Plus, you aren't supposed to plant sunflowers until summer. That's a big fat fail for class.
Well, it feels like summer.
We should plant a pumpkin patch. How awesome will it be to have all the little kids come right here to get their pumpkins in the fall?
That's like half a year away.
You guys.
Plus 2 words, pumpkin pie.
2 more words, is disgusting.
Katie jumped right between her sparring friends.
You guys, we need something easy that will actually grow now before the end of the school year. I looked it up.
She held up her phone and showed them a picture of small flowers with viney green stalks.
What are those even?
You have got to be kidding me.
Katie checked her screen again.
Petunias. We can plant them right here by the stop sign. They grow super fast, we'll get a good pick for class, and then we're done.
I thought the whole point of this was to help people.
Petunias are nice.
This is ridiculous. Something that small will just get overrun by all the weeds we haven't pulled.
You got a better idea?
Yeah, sunflowers. Something big and beautiful.
Or pumpkins.
Katie ripped off her gardening gloves and hurled them into the dirt.
Fine. Do your own community service project.
You're quitting the garden?
It's not a garden, it's a weedy dirt patch.
I'll do my own project.
Katie grabbed her water bottle and her tools and stalked off.
I cannot believe them.
At home, Katie kicked off her muddy shoes and hurled her dirty gloves on the floor.
How'd it go, sweetie?
Awful. We hardly cleared any weeds, and Nona and Caleb wouldn't listen to my idea about what to plant.
It is a pretty big project.
I'm doing my own.
Isn't it a group thing?
Nona and Caleb don't even care about the grade. They want to do all this stuff with pumpkins and sunflowers and stuff we'll never even finish.
I get it. It's a lot easier to keep it small, but it's up to you whether you want to hold on to being angry or go make this right with your friends.
They started it.
Look, God designed you to be at peace on the inside, peace with Him and with others.
Okay, yeah, I don't know where to start.
You could start with more help. I bet Miss Watson would be willing to lend a hand since that weedy patch is right by her yard.
Maybe. Oh, and Mrs. Garcia is always trying to start a garden in their backyard, but she says it's too shady.
Maybe she'd like to help.
Katie nodded slowly. After lunch, she took a trip around the neighborhood and spotted Caleb shooting some hoops in his driveway. Then she dragged him across the street to knock on Nona's door.
You realize I don't want to talk about this?
I don't want to talk about this.
Just give me a minute. Both of you, please.
Caleb and Nona stared at Katie, arms crossed.
I'm really sorry. I got so stuck on making an A that I didn't listen to your ideas. I was just so hot and frustrated.
Katie's friends waited.
I talked to Mrs. Watson and the Garcias and that family with the little kids by the stop sign. They all want a garden, like a big vegetable garden. They want to help us.
Really?
We could clear the lot pretty fast with that much help.
And we can plant everything, tomatoes and beans and carrots and sunflowers and pumpkins and whatever people want to eat. We'll have to help keep it up over the summer, though.
All the way to pumpkin season.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm in.
Caleb gave Katie a high five. Then they both turned to Nona. She hesitated.
Okay, sure. But you're not gonna get me to eat pumpkin pie, because sweet potato is way better.
Deal.
The Garcias can help out tomorrow afternoon, so we can get back to it then.
Katie headed home, relieved that she was on good terms with her friends again and at peace on the inside. She was living out the truth of Paul's words. Let the peace that Christ gives rule in your hearts. As parts of one body, you were appointed to live in peace and be thankful.
Wow, that really took some courage from Katie to go to her friends to seek peace. But just like our theme says, she wanted to build a bridge and make peace with others. And that's our bottom line for today. We can make peace with others. You know, some days people are really hard to get along with. Maybe your friend spills their drink on your homework, or your mom packs your lunch with that weird kind of bread you don't like, even though you kept telling her not to. And you have an argument with your friend about your group project, and you just want to yell at everybody. But the Apostle Paul reminds us in the book of Colossians to make peace, to build a bridge. Colossians 3:15 says this, "Let the peace that Christ gives us rule in your hearts. As parts of one body, you were appointed to live in peace." It's our job to make peace with the people around us, but we don't have to do it alone. We have the peace that Christ gives. It's the glue that keeps everything together. So talk as a family about how you can have peace with others. Talk about what you can do when you have a disagreement with someone. Is there someone right now you need to go and make peace with? And how can your family help you do that? Well, that reminds me. I need to go make peace with my friend. It's not worth throwing away a friendship just to prove that I'm right. So while you talk about that as a family, you talk about our key question, I'm going to text my friend and try to make peace.